obedience are all over, many on Twitter spaces, many on the streets, on the social media, demanding justice, erecting billboards, all eyes on the judiciary. Now, it's questionable as to what justice means to them. But as someone who, in the larger plane has been a member of the obedient family, what do you think could happen if the obedience, those who've sacrificed in the last couple of months, consider that justice is not served to them? Do you think there is any reason the system should be worried?
Of course, justice is very important. This the young people that you see today and the obedience that you see today have committed so much energy into this election, and if you serve justice, in fact, the majority of the public will know that you serve justice. But if you go ahead to do the biddings of those in power and then refuse to do what is right, because nobody is asking you, nobody is asking the justices to favor a particular case. What they are saying is that based on the evidence that have been provided, brought before you, take decision on that and let the decision be fair and let it be in the interest of Nigeria. And then in general, if you look at, I think a lot of people, the judges should also look at the foundation of even coming to court in the first place. Because if it was a lot of many politicians that we've interacted with in the past had the same opportunity that Peter Obi, Excellency Peter, Mr. Peter Obi had, sorry, they wouldn't have been, he wouldn't have taken the option of coming to court. Many of them would have taken the option of coming to court. At that time, when the heat was so hard, when young people, when their blood was running high, where they could have, run to the street, the man stood and said he would take the part of judicial interpretation and review of the electoral process. So this is why I say there's so much need for the issues to be addressed and interpreted, and then justice delivered based on law, on the provisions of our constitution and other enabling laws. So for the obedient, they are in pain, they are broken in most cases, and the only thing that can soften this whole process is to see justice, that justice is done, and that these things are done in a way that is fair and that is responsible. Because if you are taking the side of going to court, like Her Excellency, the leader of the party, has taken, that means that you see have, if you win, even though if he eventually wins the case, those other people have the right of review to the Supreme Court. And if anything is done, he has the right to review to the Supreme Court. But what the confidence of the obedience are telling them, and if you had 10 meetings with them, they know that this judgment should be in their favor because of the pictorial of evidence that have been submitted before the court.
Now, considering what the MBA chairman said in Abuja that has caused some uproar in the current MBA event happening in Abuja, considering again what Justice Mary Odili said, where she admonished those who may have lost not to tear down the roof, and said certain things that many also considered not noteworthy of a justice, so to say. If you juxtapose this to, information, some argue that this is the status quo trying to test water and trying to test the reaction of the Nigerian populace. What do you think?
For me, for a person of our level and how exposed, how our growth was in the judiciary, I think it was wrong for what she did. That yes, she has freedom of expression as enshrined in our constitution. She has freedom to express her views, but at that level where she at that position, and she knows that there's a case before the Honorable Justice of the Court of Appeal. She was supposed, I think she wouldn't have, she's not supposed to make such statement. In trying to, what even worries me the more was that she was praising, lawyers that were in forefront in defending the incumbent that a case is against. She was praising Olanu Baku of the one of the best, how they call it, tribunal, how they call it, election tribunal expert. You know, she was praising him, and then she also praised Fagbemi, who was also a representative in the case, and now Attorney General and Minister of Justice of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. There was no another, there was no lawyer for Atiku there, there was no lawyer for Obi there, there was no lawyer for APM, because these are people in court. So it shows, perception is very key. Because
so many people are now saying on online that she's actually hinting to where the judge.
You can even see it now. It is obvious. For what happens that the Nigerian bar, the president of Nigerian bar, what will prompt that? For you to go to national television and start to talk about the NBA, how they call it, the report of monitoring of the observation of the election, and then comparing it to the EU report, and say that the EU report was not comprehensive. It is a cook-up arrangement to try to give to try to see whether the judges were trying to do something right, and they are trying to encourage them not to be afraid. We are behind you. Do what you need to do. That's what they were doing. That's what it is. Do what you need to do. We are behind you. This country, we are the one that runs it.
So, okay, now considering what happened in Niger a couple of weeks ago and what happened in Gabon last week, do you think Nigerians has any reason to be afraid?
For me, I believe Nigerians have reasons to be afraid, because the sample of opinion that you carry about, when you say people who are in the armed forces, people who are in the security agency, they are also within the population. If you take sample today, you might, if somebody doesn't identify himself as a military man or as a civilian, you won't know. You understand? You will not know. And for me, the democracy is still the best form of government. I will never go against that. But I know that citizens have right to civil disobedience. They have right to civil peaceful protest, to demand for justice and demand for right. This is only the things that I'm very sure will happen. But if we continue to undermine, if we continue to oppress, if we continue to use the constitution against the general public.
Yeah, but you're saying that the citizens have right to civil protest. But DSS this morning actually had issued a report saying that they have uncovered plans for Nigerians to protest, and they are banning protests. So how do you
this is fundamental human right? Yeah, and like as I said, in a democracy, that if you claim you are in a democracy and you are oppressive and you are dictatorial and you subvert the freedom and rights of the people, then we're in a dictatorship. What we want is democracy. What we are running is democracy. So for you to say you are preempting people, because the DSS report statement wasn't comprehensive. But then DSS would have listed those who they were suspecting. Because if DSS know that bandits are coming to the headquarters tomorrow, they would list the name. So it is not the right thing that DSS will continue to use their platform to oppress the citizen, to create fear and panic in the country. What they should do is to make sure that all those bandits, all those kidnappers, that they get proper intelligence and know where they are, and then rid Nigeria of these people that have made their own businesses to relocate from our country, people that have make it impossible for farmers to go to their farm. These are the people who have endangered our democracy, who have endangered our lives, and not civil Nigerians who have the interest for peaceful protest.
Thank you very much, Chief Peter Ameh. It has been a pleasure speaking to you in the last couple of minutes.
The pleasure is all mine. Your questions are deep, and we're able to speak to our brothers and sisters all over the world.
Thank you very much.